Time for our third and final F1000 Championship race of the weekend here at Snetterton, and of course the Circuit Championship is up for grabs. Man on pole position, Rob Sale, is going to be in contention for that. Elliot Mitchell will want recompense for his 10-second jump start penalty in race 2, so he'll be wanting the victory. But this man, Dan Clues, has a win and a third position in his pocket, so he will want to go for the victory in the third and final race of the weekend. One man that could deprive all three of them, though, is our man in 4th position on the grid, Alok Iyengar. Alok, it's great to see you back in the championship again. This could be a really interesting final race.
Yeah, it should be. I mean, the top 7 are covered within a second. So I really hope it's a good entertainment for people out there, and it hopefully will be a good race for all of us.
And of course, one of the interesting factors is the two guys in front of you on their same side of the grid, Rob and Dan, they're fighting for the Circuit Championship here this weekend, so you could pick up the spoils if things get interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, for me personally, I just want to have a strong finish. I just want to focus on my race and see how it goes.
And of course, there's the ever-promising threat of potential raindrops. Is that going to be a slight nervous worry at the back of the mind?
It's a worry for everyone, so I wouldn't worry about it. If it happens, it happens.
Okay, good luck, Alok. Have a great race.
Yeah, thanks, Jay.
There is one more interesting factor coming into this last race as well. Have a notice, here in the holding area there is a missing space where Michael Watton should be. That mechanical failure that ended his race in the second encounter is going to prevent him from going out. So it's open season for the rest of the field. Andy, over to you for the grid.
Yeah, thanks Jake. Here is how the rest of them line up then. Robert Sale has the pole position alongside Elliot Mitchell on row 1, then Dan Clues and Alok Iyengar row 2, Paul Butcher on his own now on row 3 with no Michael Watton, ahead of Adam Walker and Dax Ward. Then it's Daniel Levi, Rob Bailey, Peter Legge, who had clutch issues in the first 2 races, and Andrew Wheels at the back. Well then, we believe we've lost Paul Butcher as well now then. The half shaft has broken on that car we're hearing, so he's going to be a non-starter too. So already a race of attrition. It hasn't even begun. It now begins though, and it's a good start made from pole position by Rob Sale. He will lead down towards the first corner, and we're on board here with Andrew Wheels towards the tail end of the field as he tries to keep himself out of trouble as they turn in towards Riches. Despite the demise of Watton and Butcher, we've still got several drivers towards the sharp end who will feel they can win this. Rob Sale would love to win on his return to the series, and he's got the lead in towards Wilson. Clues is there in second. Elliot Mitchell and Alok Iyengar dicing away for third. I think Mitchell got it for now, and Wheels, who we were just riding on board with, loops it down at Wilson, and that's not the start to the race that he was hoping for. Through left-hander at Palms, I think I spotted Iyengar there, going back up the inside of Mitchell, so he might have taken third place away. They're still jockeying for position, but yes, he has gone third, and that's Adam Walker now trying to take 4th away from our race 1 winner on the road, but was then given that 10-second penalty officially for being out of position at the start. But essentially what that means is that he made a false start. Won't be best pleased with that, but there we go, that's the way it works. Quick look there at Rob Bailey on board with Adam Walker as he tries to find a way past Elliot Mitchell. It was a very long hold before the start of race 2, and these cars don't like being held a long time. It doesn't do their engines or their clutches any good at all, and that was why a couple of cars actually started to creep a little bit on the line for race 1. Creeping a bit wide there was Elliot Mitchell, and that means he's not had a good run out onto the back straight, and so Adam Walker gets himself alongside and I think is about to move through on the run down in towards Brundle and Nelson. We'll look to our right. Is there any sign of the green number 11 machine? There isn't. There it is, it's behind us. So Adam Walker has made the move stick, and that puts him into 4th position early on. He'll now try and chase on after a podium position. That's if he can fend off a resurgent Walker, who would rather like to get the place back. Couldn't do it into the bomb hole. Skates a bit wide though, and that takes a bit of the pressure off Walker. So a slightly calmer start to the race here than we had in race 2, which was frenetic to say the least. Turn into the left-hander at Murray's for the first time, and it's fairly well spaced out actually throughout the order. It is Sale that leads, it's Clues in second, it's 3rd place for Iyengar, 4th position then for Adam Walker, with 5th place now Elliot Mitchell, and we'll see whether he can make any progress to try and work his way back up the order at all. So Paul Butcher documented a non-starter, so too Michael Watton. That's going to have a potentially serious effect on his championship hopes, because as we said earlier on when we were talking about Paul Butcher's woes this weekend, and they of course have gone from bad to worse to even worse with this extra non-start here. At the end of the day, he's going to score very few points at all out of his weekend. But for Michael Watton, only 1 drop score allowed throughout the whole year. He would have wanted to use his first race where he limped across the line to finish 9th, as his drop score. He now can't because he's not starting this one, so he'll have to take that bit of a points hit through race 1, counted as one of his scores, and make this is not his drop score but another non-finish at any other point throughout the year. And bear in mind, this is only the second meeting of the year, so we've still got another 5 race meetings after this one. Another 15 races to go. If in any of those races Michael Watton has another non-finish, that could really hurt his championship hopes. In fact, it's almost guaranteed, particularly if Dan Clues can finish first or second in this race, he's almost guaranteed to lose the championship lead heading into the next round of the championship at Cadwell Park. So that is not the way that Michael Watton wanted to round his weekend off. A season that started off so perfectly with those 4 wins for the first 4 races has now started to change. It just goes to show that it really is about consistency. Dan Clues hasn't won a race yet. He's running second in this one at the moment behind Rob Sale, but even if he finishes second in this one, he'll be leading the championship after the first 6 races. It's about consistency more than just winning races. So Sale comes across the start-finish line down in towards the first corner, and the man who making his return to the championship this weekend, he'll be supported this weekend as ever he is by his wife Trudy and his son Jensen, aged 3, and the 2016 champion who works with gas plumbing and heating as an engineer as his day job, and Gascraft, in fact, one of his sponsors for this weekend, Robert Sale. Great to have him back on board. At the moment it is just for this round, but do you know what, if we can coax him back out for the rest of the season, he could still become a championship threat, because we mentioned the attrition rate already this weekend, and it's very possible that if Clues and Watton and maybe Butcher keep on running into mechanical dramas, it might not matter that Sale missed the first round of the championship. He could still do enough to put himself in championship contention as the year goes on. So let's hope that we can tempt Robert Sale out to race with us again throughout the rest of the year, and maybe get some other former champions to come out of the woodwork and come out and play, because the more cars we get out on the grid, the better the racing will be. We've seen some pretty entertaining racing as it is today. It's a shame that we've lost a couple before this race even started, a couple of our potential race winners as well, but that will not be a complaint as far as Robert Sale's concerned, because it means that he is enjoying a fairly comfortable race lead at the moment in this one over Dan Clues in second, who has, believe it or not, he only won 2 races last year, Dan Clues, but he's been on a steady path of improvement really over the years. Finished in the top 5 in the championship every year since 2014, but he's never finished better than 4th in the championship. And ironically, I know we've been banging on about how important consistency is, but for Dan Clues, if he wants to really mount a serious championship challenge this year, you feel he has to start increasing his win rate, and he'll be a bit frustrated, I'm sure, that Rob Sale's in front of him in this one, but he did at least manage to take the race victory in race 2, an inherited race victory, but it counts for the same amount of points, 30 points available for a race win. No bonus points for fastest laps or things like that in F1000 racing, so it's just about the race victories. This is on board with Adam Walker though, as he makes his way out of Palmer's down towards Agostini, closing in on Alec Iyengar here to try and take away 3rd place if he can. This is the closest battle on track at the moment between these two, and Alec is all over the place coming out of the left-hander at Agostini. Alec, who had a 4th, a 5th and a non-finish at Brands Hatch last time out, well, he's had a 5th, a 4th this weekend. You can see where this is going, can't you? He will really go, but he doesn't complete the pattern and fail to finish this race. Indeed, he'd love to go one better and get himself onto the podium. That's where he's running at the moment. Hasn't been on the podium for quite some time, actually. So it will be a popular podium, I'm sure, if he can hang on. Maybe not that popular in the Adam Walker camp, though, because he is the person that he's denying a podium at the moment, but Walker certainly not going to give in. And Adam, as we documented in the earlier races, after that stunning performance to 2 second-place finishes at Brands Hatch last time out, he'll be disappointed that he hasn't been on the podium yet this weekend. A little bit unlucky at the start of race 2, I think, really, to just not quite find himself in the right positions in the opening encounters, and that meant that he never really was able to recover from that. But Adam Walker, very, very quick driver, no doubt about it. He's proving that at the start of this year. Maybe he just needs to improve on the consistency and the racecraft a little bit more in order to become a championship challenger. But the way that this weekend's gone, who knows? It may well be that Michael Watton is not able to run away with the championship as many people predicted at the start of the year. Maybe Adam Walker could yet be a threat. He's definitely a threat for third place in this race. Look, he had a look to the inside there into Wilson, and that just forced Iyengar to run a little bit deep on the brakes. And that's what I mean when I say that it's a distractionary tactic more than anything else, because he wasn't really close enough to attack Alok there. Adam knew that, but Alok didn't, and he saw that flash of colour in his wing mirrors. And again, you see Walker trying it again there, down in towards Agostini, and he hopes that that's enough just to force Iyengar to just roll off the brake a little bit, go a little bit quicker into the corner, just to try and see off any potential overtake from Walker. And maybe if he runs wide, that could open the door fully for Walker to make the move stick. It hasn't happened yet, but that's exactly why the drivers do that. They'll suddenly jink to the inside into the braking zone, knowing full well that they're not close enough to actually make the move stick, but just trying to force the error out of the driver in front. So Adam Walker, again, for someone who is not the most experienced driver in the series, although, as mentioned, been racing since 2006, but not that experienced of racing at the front, is what I should say. 5th place in the championship last year was his best championship result so far, and he's really showing that he has picked up quite a lot of racecraft over the recent years. But of course, the closer you get to the front of the field, although the harder it gets to pass people or to keep them behind, because you're going up against the top dogs in the championship, you learn more from them as well, because they are the best of the best. And he is a real student of racing, is Adam Walker. 31-year-old from Leeds, train driver, who is a bit of a fitness enthusiast, goes to the gym, enjoys playing football. And I think I mentioned this last time out at Brands Hatch, he takes that fitness regime and applies it to racing. He can often be seen in the assembly area pre-race doing a series of push-ups and a bit of a press-ups, excuse me. You can tell I'm not a fitness enthusiast. Press-ups in the assembly area, just sort of firing himself up, getting himself ready to go out there and race. Check in here with Dax Ward. We saw him spin into the barriers in race number 2, and I suspected that he was just a bit too enthusiastic with the loud pedal coming out of Oggies. That was not the case, and I must extend my most heartfelt apologies to Dax. He actually spun on the fluid that was being dropped by Michael Watton. Of course, at that point, we didn't know that Watton was leaking fluid, and I don't know the precise details of what the engine issue was, but it was a fluid leak that Michael was able to sort of coax home, but the engine was sufficiently damaged that he's not been able to get out there for race 3, so that's why he's a non-starter. But it also explains why Dax Ward spun at this next corner that they're approaching now, this tight right-hander in Oggies. It is easy to spin here because it's a tight corner, but it opens out, so you're on the throttle and you're turning at the same time, and you're really trying to open up the throttle fully on this short dash into Williams, and sometimes if you do it a bit too aggressively, a bit too early, you can spin up the rear wheels and end up losing the rear of the car. So back through Brundle and Nelson they go, and this is Dan Levi that Dax is trying to find a way past. And Dan from Toon Hill in Essex, 45-year-old, has 3 daughters who no doubt will be here supporting him. Works as a suspension design engineer. Lots of engineers tend to take a hand to motor racing, don't they? I don't know what it is. It certainly probably helps them with setting up their cars, and many of the drivers in the Speed Group F1000 Championship will indeed prepare, set up and race their own cars. Oh, into the pit lane though there. That looked like Elliot Mitchell. Now, I don't know what that drama is, but Mitchell into the pit lane, that promotes these two up an extra position, and this has now become the closest battle on the track then, as well as this one for third, which is still continuing with Alok Iyengar, for the time being, sponge-like, soaking up the pressure from Adam Walker behind him. Back out of Agostini in towards the left-hander at Hamilton's, and both of these drivers running inch-perfect lines for the time being. As he turns his way back through onto the Bentley Straight, excuse me, he is now starting to run out of time. We're into the final minute or so of the race. We've completed 9 laps in race 1, 8 in race 2. 8 is what we expected. They just squeezed an extra lap in the first race. I think this will be another 8-lap encounter, and Dan Clues just doesn't have anything for Rob Sale at the front of the field. Robert's now pulled out nearly a 5-second lead over Dan. This is the fight for third between Alok Iyengar and Adam Walker, with Daniel Levi still 5th and Dax Ward 6th. Levi, of course, still leading the Sonic Invitation Cup, and so as long as he can get through to the finish, that will be 30 points that he will score for winning all 3 races in that clash. That will match him with David Wheel, who was our 3-time class winner last time out in the Mark IV Jedi. Dan Levi in a Mark VI car, but just a slightly modified version. Final lap begins then for this man Robert Sale, who we haven't really seen that much of in this race, but the returnee to the championship, it looks like he's well on his way to taking victory here at his home track at Snetterton. It's been a dominant performance in this one. You sensed it was coming. The fact that he hadn't driven the car since October and still managed to qualify 3rd for the opening race of the weekend, and then finished 3rd in race 1, 2nd in race 2, and so you can see the progression there as he got acquainted with this car once again, and he's now only half a lap away from a race victory here on his return, and hopefully that will be enough to coax him back into the championship full time. Turns his way through Oggies. You've got a glimpse there of the gap back to Clues in 2nd, and then Clues with a similar sort of margin over Iyengar and Walker, still dicing over 3rd. One last little hurdle to jump here for our race leader Robert Sale. There's a back marker in front of him, which I think might be Elliot Mitchell, having made that pit stop. I think he's made his way back out onto the track now, albeit some way back. And he may just go a lap down. Well, actually, I thought he was moving over there to let Sale through, but he's not going to. It's not, I beg your pardon, that's Wheels, isn't it? So Andrew Wheels, it is, who goes a lap down from a distance. The car looked a similar colour to that of Elliot Mitchell, who I can tell you has rejoined the track, but almost a lap down. Through the final couple of corners, though, is coming Robert Sale. He's going to come out of the final turn, and he is going to take victory in round number 6 of the Speed Group F1000 Championship. We're going to have 3 different winners from all 3 races here this weekend, after Michael Watton won race 1, Dan Clues won race 2, but Robert Sale wins race number 3, and a dominant victory it was too. Dan Clues will be 2nd, and Alok Iyengar is back on the podium, and there'll be lots of people in the paddock who are happy to see that. Confirmation of the result then: a win for Sale, 2nd for Clues, 3rd for Iyengar, 4th for Adam Walker, Dax Ward is 5th, Rob Bailey 6th, Elliot Mitchell 7th, and Andrew Wheels in 8th position. Was the last remaining runner. Dan Levi there wins the Sonic Invitation Cup again. That was a perfect score. He got to the end of all 3 races, which will have been his target, I'm sure, for the start of the weekend. Championship standings, Dan Clues, as I suspected, takes a 9-point championship lead into Cadwell Park, but look how close it is between the top 4 cars. Not that much in it at all. 1 second, Walker 3rd, Iyengar 4th, Mitchell rounds out the top 5, and it is a tie between David Wheel and Daniel Levi in the Sonic Invitation Cup. Hopefully both of them will be out for the rest of the season, and they can go head to head for that championship.
3rd race of the weekend, and the big top step. Beautiful job.
Ah, it's cracking, yeah. Yeah, I sat on the grid, thought if I can just get a clean start, get away into turn 1 in the lead, get into the hairpin and survive the hairpin, because that's when some of the attacks come from, and I did. I thought, okay, let's just get my head down, just drive with my head and get away, and gradually left Dan. He kept me honest all the way, but yeah, faultless race.
And Snetterton circuit champion on home soil, not too shabby.
That's not bad, is it? Hey, that's the last 3 races, weekends we've done. We've been circuit champion every round. So yeah, over the moon with that.
So has that scratched the itch, or are we going to see you back at Cadwell, Rockingham? Are we going to see you back?
You'll see us at Rockingham.
I thought as might. Well done, Rob.
Thank you.
Well, Dan, that's 3 races and a fantastic 2nd place in the 3rd. Talk us through the race.
Yeah, I was really happy with that. I mean, I've got to say, fair play to Rob. He made a great start and just sneaked away, and the pace was really hot, and he was flying, no mistakes at all, and well done to him. Tried my best to stay with him, but yeah, he just kept sneaking away a few tenths a lap.
And that's one of each type of silverware as well now, so not bad going.
Yeah, that's it. Can't complain with every step covered on the podium over the weekend. So yeah, no complaints at all. The boys from JFK have worked really hard all weekend. The car's been absolutely faultless. Just got to go away for a few weeks now and up my game before Cadwell, I guess.
Well, hopefully we will see you on the podium once again there. Good luck.
Thank you, Jake. Cheers.
Alok, 3rd race, 3rd position. Great to see you back on the dais.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a strong weekend. I think we've had the pace. I'll say we're still about half a second off fighting for the win, but I think hopefully by mid-season we'll sort of get closer. But it's been a good weekend.
And of course at Cadwell it's a lot more technical, so maybe you guys might be able to come up with something that can give you a good qualifying, and then the rest is history.
I hope so. I mean, I've had a crash last year there, so mentally, I think psychologically, I need to sort of get better at that track. So I won't say it's the strongest track, but for me, it's about improving. That's what I'm focusing on. I'm not focusing on results. Just try and get better each and every round.
Well, you've got a few weeks of R&R. We'll see you at Lincolnshire.
Yes, thank you. Thanks, Jake.
Well, that's it from the F1000 Championship here at Snetterton, and Rob Sale walks away as the circuit champion in his very trusty steed. You might want to buy it quickly, though. The next round of the championship is on the first weekend of June at Cadwell Park. See you then.